Well, it wouldn't be a stream if it didn't, where are we? Come on. It wouldn't be a stream if something didn't go wrong at the beginning. Let's just head back over here a second. So, welcome to the stream. There are many bugs that seem to be over here. Yes, welcome. How is everyone today? Hope you are all doing well. Hope your Monday is going as well as a Monday can do. And yes, welcome to the stream. I now a bit bouncier rather than just staying put in one place. Hey Sinister, so you're a bit sleepy. Well, so am I, but another day here, so I have less excuse. Though I do have tea, so that should hopefully help. And thanks Alex Headley8 for following, it is much appreciated. Welcome to the stream and hope you enjoy yourself here. So, today we are going to be doing a mix of things. We're going to potentially be working on link highlighting in Coppice. Though if my brain doesn't work, then we'll probably just be doing some design stuff. Because when my brain doesn't work for coding, it usually works still for design stuff. And then potentially some more stuff on the overlay towards the end. I haven't decided yet what that would be. Maybe getting my eyes to be able to move about. That'd be quite interesting to do. So, yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, let's get to it. And let me know how your days are going, whether you have been up to much, whether you are up to much, what you're working on or doing while watching the stream. And yes, we'll get into it. So, first off, I do want to show you some stuff that I have been doing on the Coppice website design. So, we saw yesterday how I was tweaking some of the colours. Well, I've done some more tweaks to the colours. So, the buttons up here are now... I saw the right thing. I've changed the colours on those a bit. I'm not entirely keen on the download button. I may want to tweak that some more, but for the most part, I think this is looking fairly good. I've been playing around with these shapes in Affinity, where what I had actually come up with was just a very basic curve. And then I was just sort of looking around of what can I do to make this look better. And I noticed that over here in Affinity you have this pressure thing. So if I click on here, you can actually change the line pressure after you've done it. So for example, if I click these and move it up, you can see the ends get thicker, get thinner. So if I move it down, you get it going to a nice point. So you can basically say, this is how thick the brush should be. On here, I've got a much weirder line because it just allows me to get the shape that I want. But I've been playing around with that, so we'll probably play around with that some more later. I've also originally I had the icon up here as a big app icon, but the thing is that left this bit a little empty. So what I have done on the suggestions one, we said they like seeing at least screenshots of stuff of the app, and there's an awful lot of text at this point. What I'll probably do is either stick a screenshot of the app or some sort of diagram of the app, or more likely, if we're going to be making some sort of marketing videos, create a video. Now, this is not going to be done for the Coppice release that we're working on now, Coppice 2022.2. This is for later in the year, when we work on basically marketing stuff. So this is just me getting started on that a bit sooner with all of this stuff with the website design. But yeah, we're gonna at some point learn some motion graphics and video editing and basically build ourselves some adverts. I think I know one that I want to do, which is basically take the existing Coppice website, this how does Coppice work stuff, and I basically want to make this just into a video, just to explain the core concepts. And then I think maybe try another sort of marketing video as well. So we'll see how that goes. But that is for later down the line. But yeah, a bit later today we'll probably start working on some of these design bits, because getting all this working is going to take a while, because we need to merge two websites, test that it's all working, and then it's all stuff like I need to upgrade both the framework and the language. I need to change a bunch of stuff, add some features and stuff. So it's like the next version of Coppice is really about improving the website and all the process of purchasing and getting hold of Coppice and all stuff like that. There will be some stuff, I'll look for like some small improvements to Coppice, but generally that will be the version after what we're currently working on. But for now, we are working on this version of Coppice. So if I just... Alright, so that is all committed. So... all you want, show editor only, and enter, but it is not. Respect my preferences, Xcode. So we have our linking to pages in and implemented. So we support all the linking to multiple pages. We support the creating those links. Now the two key things that we have left, if I just is dashboard. Okay, so we have link highlighting. And what that is going to be is, for example, if I hover over this link here, what it needs to do is highlight a link in the text page. If I hover over a link on the page, it needs to highlight it going out, and where those arrows, like where it links to. So, I think the first thing we need to do. So I think the easier one to do is hovering over the link and highlighting the link, because we already have code in place where we can detect where there is a link. So if we can do that, I think, because the problem here is that we need to add code to handle hovering over, and then code here for highlighting. Um. Hmm. Right. So let's have a look. Canvas. That. Why did they move this over here? So annoying. Right. I think we want to be in the layout end. This is what we Alright, so we currently have a I posted the stream link on Twitter. I posted it to the Discord a while ago, but I don't want to like spam the Discord with the link, because I know Doig was going to create a channel at some point to like for when streamers go live, it will post there, or you can post there. But I don't want to stream at the moment, or rather post at the moment, so. It's one of those things of, it's like, I'd like to, but I don't want to be, because no one else is really posting that. Though, to be fair, I think there's only 4 of us that actually are currently streaming Animator stuff. There's Doig, there's Gwilym, there's me, and there's Kieran. But yeah, I post to Twitter. To be fair, I should really be retweeting that from the Coppice account as well. Oh wait. Free that. I also, taking the tip from Doig, I have it set up so that when I go live, it actually adds this to my Twitter name, so it says when I'm live on Twitch. So yeah, it's something that over time I'm building stuff up. So where are we? Move event at location modifier. But yeah, I'm posting like stuff that I'm working on in the Animator Discord. Like when I'm adding, like when I create new stuff on the stream, I'm adding it in there, showing it off. Yeah, I'm fine. Look, if you want to advertise the stream places and tell people about it, I have zero problems with that. Right, so for the move event, I need to work out how on earth we're going to do this. Because do that. Now when you down event, a page can ask, is there a link at the content point, and we can get open link at content point. So what we could do what we probably want to do is change this from is link at content point to link at content point and have that return a URL, an optional URL. So the URL is set, it's saved, if not, it's empty. But with that URL, we can set that as the currently hovered URL. And then what we can do because the problem is this is getting to the point where the layout engine is telling the page content to change stuff. That is not something that I've done before. So so is there a link at content point? We get that. Now the open link at content point. I mean, I suppose is link at content point, we could just do highlight. Link at content point. And then we could have an unhighlight link. But the problem is, if you then hover, you need to get what the link is to know which arrows to highlight, and then if you hover over an arrow, we need to get from the arrows to work out which links to highlight. So layout engine link. We could probably do with this having the URL. Because what we do for links is we have this entity here called page link, which allows me to basically switch between just a plain URL or like work out okay what the actual links. Now the reason I don't want to use a page link, I mean I could use a page link. I couldn't because is link open link, the URL may not be a page link, but it can still be a link. Okay. So yeah, so let's write down our steps to implement. So return URL for is link. And URLs. Add URL to layout engine. In fact, no, let's write it in. So this needs to turn URL from it. Open link can yeah, I can now just open and link. So on link add insertion box, so we still need a link. Right. Need highlight link. Highlight is of link, and we also want highlighting. Okay. We return the URL, we highlight instances, we stop highlighting. I think that is everything we need. At least for telling the page what to do. Because what we're going to do is when you hover over a page, we're going to see, is this a link at this point? And if it is, I mean, what we may do is actually set a timer so that you can move over, but if you're just moving over, it's not going to like rapidly highlight everything as you're moving your mouse. You've got to basically like hover over it for like a second, a bit like when you're on the tooltip. Like if I hover over this button up here, it takes a second for the tooltip to appear. So we may do it something like that. Then what we can do is, so we hover over, we find is it a link, if so we store the link, and then what we're going to do is highlight all instances of that link in, that is a fair point. Do we want to highlight yeah, probably highlight the link and the highlight the link and the whatchamacallit, brain's gone. The arrows. That's it. I is smart. So yeah, we'll highlight the links, we'll highlight the arrows, because that just makes it a bit easier. It does mean that it will highlight all instances of the link in the page if you hover over one link, but that is actually somewhat useful to know. So, hi Vert, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you are having a good day. It's always nice to see new people join the stream. Yes, we are. Ow. Since that we have guests, you don't want to be showing bugs on the stream when we have guests. This stream is a bug-free place. Let's out of sight, out of mind. Come on. Go. There we go. Ooh, having some watermelon. Unfortunately, I've never had watermelon and I can't be in a robot. It is a fun place. Why, it is my spaceship that I am slowly building out, bit by bit. We finally got this room finished. Well, mostly finished. There's still a lot to do, like, well, it's a spaceship that I managed to get into space with flight controls that don't actually do anything, so we will make them do stuff at some point. Hopefully. Maybe. There's always a lot to do with building these things. But yeah, this room is the next room that needs doing, because as you can see, we have nothing on the floor, nothing on the walls, and literally nothing on the ceiling. But the void of space. Indeed, Sinister, it is powered by hopes and dreams. Mostly hope. Hope that things will not break. And they won't break. I promise. Except when they do. Anyway. So, we are working on getting some arrows highlighting. So we have, I want to change that to return a link, highlight instances of a link, stop highlighting. Now one thing I do want to check is this an expensive operation? Maybe, but I suppose the only way to find out is to test it. Right, let's just use our what we have at the moment, and if we go canvas layout engine, move event, what we are going to do is we have let page equals current page. Page dot is linked at content point. Ooh, that's a fair point. Content point is not a canvas point, and this is a canvas point. How do I do this? Convert point to contents. Convert point to content space location. Okay, print is link. Do I need another one of those? I do! Okay, let's get going. So we build, we run, and then so is link. So false, false, false. True, false. Let's see the offset. Right. Ah. So if I stop. Okay. That. So the height is correct, but we are off on the width. Why are we off on the width? Because that might explain why if I click there, that's not doing anything, but if I click there, is curious. Okay, let's try with image. Okay, so image page is correct, so it is text pages. So is link content page, page editor, view controller. Text editor, view controller. As otherwise that breakpoint fires every time you go, and that is bad. Right, so we want to hover over here. I want to find out why that is not a link. So point is 60,103. Okay. Six there, but out here. What? Oh wait, I clicked on this, didn't I? Duh. Okay. Earth. Right. 60. Oh. No. Right, so I want to go here and I'm over the link, I click. So 6104. So if I bring this up, 60. Or okay, so the width, right? That is probably just. That's just. Okay, so I think. Oh yeah, because it's as the view. So the text point view is 5585, which makes a lot more sense. Contain that, yes. We get that. Net manager, use rec. Boundary rectangle lifts in the specified text container. This is the glyphs container. So text viewpoint is 55.8. That's just. Fine. However, there is an insert. So $55.85. Yeah, so that should be the right place. Hey, this is the joy of debugging. It's going through stuff with a fine-tuned comb and working out exactly where failed, so that is correct. So then our insertion point is 32. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Green. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, 30, that's 32. So, insertion point is at the end of C. So that is PO self.add text storage. And this dot on brain character at 2 string okay. Get the attribute. Your attributes. Is not a link. Chat index for insertion. Oh. That's not what I want. So, I've figured this out. So, let's zoom in quite a lot on this text, because I need to show you what exactly is going on here. So the issue is if I click in the trailing half, it's not detecting it as a link. If I click in the start or the trailing half of the previous character, it is. So why? Well, because I'm looking for the insertion point. So let's say I click at the start of the character here, the insertion point gets put here. If I click in the second half, the insertion point gets put here. So it's basically offsetting it by half. Now you may say, okay, well just reduce it by half. That's easy enough to do if you have fixed size text, but I have variable width text. So for example, the width of this C is different to the width of this L. So that is why it is not working. So character okay, so NS text stream. Not what I want. NS text. No. Okay. Next, put client. Attributed substring for proposed range. No. Character index of point. That is what we want. So this will probably fix it. Character index. Pop. Off. Go in here and I click scale and up. So am I still? See what it turns as the character index. What? Let's go. I just set a breakpoint on you. Oh, because it's I'm in. Okay. So the insertion point getting 33. Okay. Insertion point 33. Let's go to index as nearest to point. Screen coordinate system. Why? Why would you do it like that? Make sure this. Point. So I need to change this to let in point equal screen again. Why would you do it in the screen coordinate system? Because the screen coordinate system is this entire screen. At the very least, you thought you would do it. Less than screen. Better. So that we were looking at text input client. Or was it NS text input? Character index point. That's deprecated anyway. Oh, use text. Character index. Oh, okay. So text. What is deprecated? Text content. Text type use password. Okay. Get it from the layout manager. Does the index of the glyph font? Here we are. Character index. The point. In container. And then you get the fraction distance. Okay. So font layout manager dot character index for text point in text container, and we hopefully this will work. Hopefully. Yeah, 31. Got attribute. So there is a link. So why is that? Because the open link here is using well, okay. God, text container equals have to add text container. and this is same thing. The character. Now this should hopefully work. Right. Fingers crossed this works. Hey! That works now. Arrows are getting a bit messed up, which is why we're going to let you be able to select them and delete them. I have just realised something about page hierarchies though, which is we do need to delete them once they are opened. I should probably create a ticket for that. I don't forget. In Coppice, bug, delete page hierarchies when once they have canvas. Again with the spelling hierarchy on. Page hierarchy objects. Canvas version is 2. Okay, now that I have that jotted down. Yes, we can go back. We don't need that. Canvas layout engine. Enable this again and double check our working. And here, check. All false, it's false, it's false, it's true. Fantastic. So, when we have that done, we have link. Bar. Link. Well. It's set. Yep. Yes. What we can covered link equal covered page dot is link at content point. Oh yeah, we actually page to be able to come. Just have to do it this way then. Current link that else. And then we can print out link. Now this, have to name this, but we can hopefully, please Xcode. It works. Link at content point. That is going to return URL, and then I build, and it's going to give me a bunch of compiler errors. I type equal to that, nope, that. Does not conform because that needs to return a URL. Page content editor. Link now needs to back to cut point. And that is going to be URL. So, oh, what is that? That content. Let equal that. Actually, now we stick that in front so that it saves us some time. So if after editable and let URL because we don't need that is. So, by the way, if anyone has any questions at any point on what on earth I'm doing, just post in chat. I'm trying to explain as much as possible while I go along, but sometimes I can forget to explain something, or don't explain it as well as I could. Oh, we got link up point there. There's no is because that is URL. So we now return nil. Voila. I also need to fix up warnings as well, because they're getting in the way of me doing stuff correctly. Clean and build. Okay, let's also fix the self.update date trailing comma colon right link at point. Oh. We get all of That's done. Oi. Filling space. It's because getting text editing. Automatically trim filling spaces. This armor. Armor. That we're fine with. This. Comma. F. Now we only have 2 warnings, one of which is for this, which technically we don't think that calls for it. So that. Okay. So all we have left is this. So if we run this, actually, could even change one more change. God, self dot currently hovered link is not equal to old value, else return. So we only log it out when it changes. So I can hover over there, and we now have a link out there. Move that, it's nil. Hover over, get that. Nil. Hover over, get that. You just keep hovering over the links, and it is finding the link we want. And what we can also do is, if I was to go here, testing external link, I can https twitch.tv/pilkey, and when I hover over that, down here it shows it up. So we've now got it that when we're hovering over a link, it will set the link there. Now we're going to also end up with it when we hover over an arrow, it will do that as well. That will be a bit trickier because we need to make sure that you're hovering over the actual arrow, not just the space around the arrow. I mean, we don't want to make it too fine. We want to maybe have it like the width of the arrowhead either side, but that is a bit trickier to do. Yeah, but we can work that out. Now though, what we want to do is when I hover over, I want to yeah. So when we set this, so this is where things can get a bit tricky. Because if I hover over C, is that going to highlight that? Because that is opening page C4F24 and that is opening page C2F C4F24. And the so it's C92 is the source. Don't know about that, but yeah, so we care we only care about highlighting in currently hovered page and any links coming out of the currently hovered page when we're there. When we're over an arrow, then it isn't currently hovered page, but it is the source of the arrow. So we probably don't want to use currently hovered page. What we want to do is when we set URL, we want to set the URL and page, because we should only really ever be highlighting links in a single page. Because for example, if I do this arrow, it should be highlighting in this page. If I hover over the link C here, I only want to highlight it in this page. Ideally, I'd only want to highlight this link, but that's a bit... it makes things a bit trickier. And honestly, it's not a bad thing to highlight everything. So... I'm actually probably going to need the page link after all. Because what we need to do is get the page link. And then let's do that. There is no source, there is no source, there is... They do have a source. Why? They have a source. Okay, so now that... Oh, because they're manual. If I did link to a page, I add link to first. Right, so that contains the source now. But an auto link doesn't contain the source because we inject the source. Why do we put source in? Because the source is the canvas page. That should not be stored on the link in the page. I am puzzled by this. So, link. To page, from page. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Document. URL. Why am I setting source page? I don't think I should be setting the source page. This just creates a link to that page. That creates a link to the page from there. From there. The problem is when you open page, so that's opening page at page link. And link, content point. Clicked on. Okay. open page link, self-parent editor, open. Source, then we replace the source there. When you actually the source that it isn't in the canvas and it isn't using the canvas page. So Coppice model controller. We get the source and we make sure that the source is there because we're opening on a canvas. URL, we add the URL there. So I don't think we need to add the source anywhere. Like, we need it, but it should never be a page. Let's give this a try. I change that to email. In theory, that should not break anything. So I go into here. I select this. Okay, I'm going to delete that link. I'm going to link to another page. This is going to link to this page. If I hover over it, that doesn't have that anymore. So that is linked to there. Or at least it's linking to one of those pages. Create canvas. So that links to B. That is still link. D. That links to there. That links to the first page. Yeah, so we should be good. So we care about the so the arrow and the links should contain the source page because they tell us like where we're linking to. So when you hover over an arrow, we can use the source page to find the canvas page that we care about, but then the links we want to highlight in there, we only care about the destination. And if you hover over a link, you only care about finding all the links that link to that destination. So we probably want, so we probably want to hover over the page. Right. When you hover over a link, we're actually going to store the hovered page link. And from that we can determine, is this the page that we want to link to? There will be existing pages that have the source in, but the source should be the page, so that should not cause much of an issue. Because it will not be a canvas page, so we will ignore it. Okay, so yeah, layout engine page. Nope, canvas layout engine. Ooh. Recently hovered page link. Page link. There. to get the URL. And then we can do page link with URL, because if it is not a page link, we return nil anyway. So that should fix it for us. Hopefully. Currently covered page link. And what we want to do is, if let's currently have a page link, what do we want to do? Print, highlight, links to page, have a page link dot destination. Side and from currently page dot source. So highlight links from page that from source, so that is all good. If we back to here. Yeah. You're looking good. So then the arrows is... So what I may do is actually get the arrow hovering. The arrow hovering's complicated. Got a layout engine link. Layout frame. And then in Coppice itself, I think we have is it the arrow draw helper? Yeah, so you draw an arrow which draws the line and draws the arrowhead. How can we do this in an efficient way? We could have a rectangle. Right, so the way that we could do this, because if I where are we? Got arrow bound. So you can see here like what a mess this is. If I do just inside the rectangle bounds, because this is the thing, when you are checking a point, if you're checking that the point is like in exactly in this line here, that is not cheap. It's not ridiculously expensive. Tez91X, thank you for following. Hope you are enjoying the stream. And the follow notification is still broken. I mean, what should be happening is something like this. So I suppose for following that is okay, I can just press that manually, but it's annoying that it doesn't actually do that. Oh! Oh! I have just had an idea. 1 second. Where are we? Right, now I can show my screen again. The idea is... Right, so let me just try that again. Okay, so I am definitely not getting the notification from Twitch when the follow happens. It's great. Because I'm pretty sure the way I'm doing it is the only way you can get a notification from Twitch when the follow happens. Okay. Well, we'll look into that later. Anyway, getting back to these arrows. So the issue is that if you're trying to just go along a curve and see, am I pointing the curve? What I'd need to do is, because I want it to be somewhere around, I'm going to want to have it curving around there like that. Now, I can. Now the problem is that you don't want to have all of those things and then be checking for every single arrow on the thing. Now there are ways that you could simplify that. You could have it first check that you are in the bounding box, and if you are, then you can do the closer checks. And then like if I'm here where I'm technically in multiple bounding boxes, then I can do the checks there. So that could potentially work. Another option is just a rectangle going out, rectangle going out, and then just a line going up, because that is a lot simpler, because it's just is the point. I mean, we could do the Bezier path thing. It would probably work best, so maybe we will do that. Maybe we'll just do a simple "Are you in the bounding box?" Because if you're not, then we don't care. That's a cheap one. And if you are, then we can start doing the more complex tracking. Oh, this is gonna make my brain hurt. Alright, so as we've been streaming for about 90 minutes, I am going to go and make myself a fresh cup of tea, because I am going to need some refreshment and some more caffeine if we're going to do this. So what I will... you know what? Let's do this on Saturday. I am going to go and make myself a cup of tea, and when we come back, let's do some website design. My brain is not really in the mood for doing this sort of complex stuff, so let's do some pretty drawing, which is hopefully going to be a bit more interesting than me bashing my head against the wall trying to figure out what's happening. So I will be back in probably, well, however long it takes a kettle to boil. So see you all in a few minutes. I'll run an ad during the break just so that anyone that comes in does not have to be bothered. So feel free to take the opportunity to just go get a drink yourself, have a stretch, and just ignore the ad because there's nothing interesting going on during the break. So see you all in a few minutes.
sons and daughters. You can fall asleep on sheets of gold and wake up as a pauper. We all get old, we all slow down as the walls they close. We fall, we drown, and I need some breathing space. I won't grow old with grace. I need some breathing space. I can't keep living straight. Oh, we ain't gonna linger and lie when there's hard cash coming back. No way, I'll just sit here when I know that there's hard cash coming back. Hard cash. Don't want no easy money. Oh no. Money couldn't buy me happiness, just a prettier misery. There's a price to pay for a life of luxury. Oh, the air is thin, the glare, the smoke and the wear within. It tears, it's choking. I need some breathing space. I won't grow old with grace. I need some breathing space. I can't keep living straight. Oh, we ain't gonna linger and lie when there's hard cash coming back. No way, I'll just sit here when I know that there's hard cash coming back. Hard cash. We ain't gonna linger and lie when there's hard cash coming back. We ain't gonna linger and lie when there's hard cash coming back. No way, I'll just sit here when I know that there's hard cash coming back. Hard cash. Don't want no easy money. Oh no. And now that we have all arrived, my friends, get in your cars and drive. And now that we have all arrived, my friends, get in your cars and drive. Gonna drive our blues away. Just another sunny day. Gonna drive our blues away. Just another sunny day.
Okay, I am back. So, I have caffeine and we are going to do some website work, or rather designing website stuff in Photoshop. So for those of you who may not have seen, this is the start of my website redesign. I am designing the Coppice, well, I'd say homepage because at the moment it's rooted at coppiceapp.com, but I'm basically going to get rid of having a separate website. I'm going to keep the domain and it's going to point to this page, but I want to just change things up somewhat. So we are going to do some more work on this redesign stuff. So I want to have a tweak of the download button because I'm not too keen on it. It isn't separated enough from the rest of the navigation. And then also have a bit more play around with these growing vines, because at the moment it's just the same one that is shifted a bit. So we may just tweak it so that we have separate ones. So if we go in here, I think one thing I can do is I can get rid of all the other variants, because I have other variants of navbar and I don't particularly like any of them. I mean, D is sort of similar to the original one, but we can get rid of those. Right, at the header, we're not going to have like the app icon, this stuff. Get the buy button and download button bigger. I want them there because this bar at the top is going to stick around as you scroll through. Maybe what we can is in top now. Let's shift. Go like that. Then on our button. Yeah, I think it does make sense, Sinister, doing it that way. Because I was also having the issues with the contrast of the text down there and being very iffy. Oh, that's very bad. I can actually tweak the gradient now. I could tweak this gradient. Because now I don't have to worry about that, because this is just going to be a video up here, a screenshot. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. A video would be better, but I mean a screenshot would also work pretty well. Right, so what I want... Huh? Let's Photoshop do that. What's the shape? Yeah, because I'm not on the shaper. Oh, because I'm on the wrong buttons. That would be why. Select the right layer. So sort of there, and we'll just go that. Okay. So that is 74. So if we go to 94, that is 10 either side. Let's do 15 either side, which would be 4. That's just taking us back to where we were, so if we go out then 5 button. 4, so that was 64. And rather annoyingly, I appear to have slept funny on my shoulder, and I don't know if any of you get this, but like the muscle right below your collarbone that sort of goes from your shoulder towards like the center of your chest, when that gets a bit like you've slept funny and that gets a bit tight, and it's almost like you want to push in on your rib cage and just like it needs to crack to sort of relieve whatever tension is built up there. I've currently got that on my right hand side, which is always a fun thing. The joys of getting older. More stuff hurts. Yeah, I think it's also partly, it may even be referred pain, because I can feel the twinge sort of like top of my shoulder blades on my back. So it's like almost right at like on the back between the opposite side of me to where the pain is on the front. So it could just be that it's the back part of the shoulder that I've messed up and it sort of twinges on the front. It's not like an out pain, it's more of an annoying pain. It's like when when your neck, you feel like you need to just let it click or something to relieve an annoying pain, so. Right. I think making the buttons bigger has helped. Problem is, so if I go for the greens, that is a bit too bright to my eye, but the rest of them are too subtle. So I go for the grey. Okay. Alright, next thing. I think that will do. I think it's distinct enough now that we have a bit more spacing. And a bit more width on them. Right. So where... Oh, what is that? That is the title. So the icon's going there. Then we have this video, which we at center. There. Okay. So now want to just a background. If I stop. Oh, they're in the top nav. Okay, they want to be header. Okay. So I think what I want to do is to tweak these. Now I want to tweak them anyway because these lines, if you zoom in, they're just not quite right. So I'm going to go into Affinity Designer and do some tweaking. What I want to do, probably, I think what I need by converting that. That curve is better. There. Yes. When it comes to any sort of graphics, so this is when I start to get to be in my element. When I am dealing with vector stuff. Be that in Photoshop or stuff like this, when I'm designing UI stuff, it is when I am at the point where it's like I know roughly what I know enough to be dangerous, basically. Whereas when it's doing any sort of like painting or anything like that, I don't have the the ability to even be dangerous at that. Right, so is copy this over here. What we're going. I think we'll keep general shape. What I will do is we'll flip it, and then we'll take our leaves. Bit. Prepare for danger. Why is something happening? I think some of these I can okay. Oh yeah, skills are happening. May be terrifying. Thing. Oh. Roughly the right distance. Oh. Don't need to be. I could. Bit close. Probably. Point. Just skims that down a bit there. That one, because I want them getting smaller as you go up. That looks okay. Okay, what on there? Go like that. Just so we can have a bit of a nice. Now, what I made this one. Wrong thing. Right. Oh, balls. Okay. So, if I copy that and go over to Photoshop. copy the other one. Then thing on yeah. Copy the layer now. Putting white over. I have realized something. The leaves are pointing the same way. Question is, I want it like that. I don't want the leaves like that. I think I want the leaves like that, but I want the vine that way. So what we're going to do is going good on. That's all those. Oh, that flip like that. Shift it. Okay. go. There we go. I think that looks okay. Well, thoughts, ideas, we all have them. Okay. Oh, we have what's... So this is going to be... and some... There's a very handy graphic this had. And got a cheat sheet for picking font sizes. I have it. Really good little chart that I think may have been on Twitter that gave a bunch of common ratios. Here we are. So, similar thing. Type scale. We have a bunch of different ratios. So you set your base, which is generally 1 EM. So how do you approximate? We're not actually but yeah, so we can see, for example, if you use the golden ratio, you get all your different scales. Now the golden ratio may be a bit too much. We try. Because we're probably going to want to tweak these, because what do we have? We have 16 point, so if that was our base, two. Different font sizes. What do we have? So, what we want is we want paragraph. Taking is our palette. So we want paragraph. On H2, H3, because we're going to have H1, H2. Well, actually, no, probably H2, H3, because it's probably going to be H1. H3, 2 H2, there's got table stuff, then you're going to get footer. So for the footer we may want H4. Do an H4 and an H5. Okay, so paragraph, we are going to make 16 point, and it is going to be H1 is bold, so yeah, perfect fourth may work well for us. Then we get 21, 28, 38. Get that 38. That just gets a little bigger. Okay. One, and we have paragraph down there. H4 would probably 12 then. H5. 9. Probably a bit too small, but I mean, it's all about relations. The reason you don't use pixels for defining. You can use pixels to define the font size for the overall website, but what you want to do is actually define using EM. Now, I believe I'm doing this in Coppice at the moment. Yep. So if I select the body, you can see here I've set the font size to 18 pixels. But when I go, where are we? I go to the navigation and I select there. It's defined in EMs. And the reason you do it that way is that this will correctly scale up and down. So if you go like this, the font sizes correctly scale up and down. Now, a lot of browsers will do this sort of correctly if you define them as pixels, but not always, and it may not always work as you expect. So if you do it that way, it means that you can scale the page up and down correctly, which is important for accessibility. Because if, for example, this is too small for someone, they can just increase the page size, all the text gets bigger, and the relationships between them stay the same. So that is why you use EM. And that was a tip that I learned because of accessibility, not because of just general design stuff. As I've said before, that is why this text here is the color it is, because if I was to, for example, let's catch the header, go here. If I was to take this gradient overlay and do that, now to me, I can still read where it leaves them forgotten and alone. That is still perfectly readable my eyes, but it is not perfectly readable for everyone. It is really, this is like below the accessibility threshold. So that is why we stop here, so you can see that it is fading out, but it is still high enough contrast for someone to actually see if they have some sort of visual impairment. So we have raw text. Down here I have text which basically just has a bunch of stuff. So what we're going to do is create a new group. What's new? Right, I was wanting to have a look. Oh. Maybe not, maybe I was looking at some other stuff. So for what's... Because I'm putting what's new above overview, because you may want to get an overview, but if you already know what's there, you want to know like what is the latest version. You don't want to sort of go through it. Now I may change my mind on this and tweak it, but right, what do we want? Feature Would lorem ipsum to release notes, and what's new? They can all shift up in what's new? That okay. Right, what would be interesting? So we've got this at the top. I want to is go here. That obviously needs to be oh. Paragraph. Right, so that definitely be that code. But that, where is the contrast checker? WebAIM contrast. And for anyone who's never done it, webaim.org has a bunch of fantastic resources, including this handy contrast checker. So what I want to do is get that. Throw that in there. So that fails. So that's it. So this. Then Coppice should just about pass. Right, so it failed. Oh no. Yeah. So that passes for white, but not for dark. Okay, so we now know what we want our colours to be.
Distant silhouettes at the horizon. Sing a silhouette, affections tighten. Kindred ribbons spring us from our tether.
Now, what we can do.
Vivid and together. Stay by my side. Soft songs in harmony. Stay by my side. Companions kind now. You
Yes, I have my info stuff. Ah. So let's just lay this out. So that is going to be 28 and 21. So 28 these features. One. All of these. 16. Now, one thing I always love is a bit of increase. Increase line spacing. I always find that way more readable. What I also want to do, make myself a nice column layout. And well, I want to clear existence. I want to good. No, I want. They probably want to be. Way. Change color. Alright. So that gives me a nice bounds on my thing. I do have those in set a bit. There is that. No, could probably move them along. But for what's new? Sure. Go there and there. Ah. Okay. Okay, let's just go through. Get our fonts. So we're going to call this Great. Oh. Newsletter thing. Rolling them together. Goes into Coppice Pro goes into Pro. Right. So let's change this again. We want 28. And collect your thoughts. Don't want to be 1 and 16. Okay. Now the other thing I want to do, A, O, B, O. Feature, what's new? These notes all want bold. Okay. Wrong one. Overview. Together. Go. Now what I'm probably going to do is when you hover over these, it will show some video or something up here. Then Coppice Pro. Both Coppice Pro and I want to make bold 8. Right, so the compare is going to be a table that basically just compare row. So this is what we have at the moment for Pro. What we'll probably just do is a feature grid. Or we can have this. Errands. Now the question is, at the moment, I have an icon. Now the icons are going to be easy enough to do. I just shift it across, shove an icon in. But I have, like, there's an image here for the customized canvas appearance. I've got a video here for additional image linking. One here for automatic page linking. The question is, how do I show these? I mean, I could do like I have done here and like stick it below where effectively I'll have a space, this will be a double height one because it has it. Automatic page linking would again have double height. See how others have done it. They have just done. That's a great usage, that's not a feature. Oh, that's right. They have just done that. have this here where you can look through. So you've got a grid here where you've got different things that it shows. Yeah, I think what it may be worth doing is, rather than having these line up perfectly, different heights so that I can throw different things in. The other option is I have them line up, but then I have something like that. Which I do this. So I could do that, and then when you hover over a click on it, it can show. I think that might work. Okay, so I'm board. There. Row and one more. Okay, so you have that there. Kaleidoscope doesn't. Tumult does. Alright. Acorn. It doesn't. So, yeah, I think a grid. Yeah. Ah. This. Take Coppice. Standard. Coppice. Coppice. But. Point. So I was reminded today why I chose partially to go for the subscription model with Coppice. Because I know a lot of people don't like subscriptions. And they do have their flaws. But as long as you're not like taking the mickey, they're actually generally quite good because it means that you can have a lower cost to entry. Like if I was shipping Coppice as a paid upfront app, I would not be shipping it for $20 a year. It would probably be around $50, $60 a year. Not a year, $50, $60 to buy it, probably, to get Coppice Pro. And it's a thing of, would I be doing all these big features? Or would I be saving a lot of them up for a big paid upgrade down the line, 2-3 years after initial release? So it's one of those things of I can lower the cost of entry and I can release features whenever. But that isn't the main reason. The main reason is because I want to bring this to the App Store. I want to bring it to people. I want to bring it to iPad. And something far more irritating than subscriptions are when you buy an app from one place, want to use it somewhere else, and you can't because it is incompatible. And going down the subscription route, that allows me to bring this to the App Store, because the App Store doesn't really allow for paid upgrades. I mean, it sort of does, but it is so finicky to do as a developer, and it's not a good experience for the user. Apple really sort of pushes you down the subscription. If the App Store allowed you to do proper paid upgrades, then you probably wouldn't see as many subscriptions, and I probably wouldn't do subscription. But they do. So what does that allow me to do? Well, when I bring the iPad out, when I finally make an iPad version, anyone who has Coppice Pro gets Coppice Pro on their iPad. You're paying for Coppice Pro, you're not paying for Coppice for the Mac. So when it comes out on the iPad, you just log in. If you're already paying for it on the Mac, you get all of that functionality. You've not got to pay any extra. So that's a great thing, because it also means that they're already paying me. They don't have to pay Apple. Now, in order to do that, I have to allow people to buy Coppice Pro inside of the App Store, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I can't point people to buy Coppice Pro. If they, on their own volition, go to my website and buy it, that's fine. But they can't go and buy Coppice Pro from my website, like through the app. I can't advertise that in the app. I can't do that. I've got to do it. If you buy on the iPad, the only thing you can see, the only way you can see to buy it is to buy through the App Store. That's perfectly fine. But when it comes to the App Store, there are some issues. And the thing that got me thinking about this today was when Apple gets something stuck in review, it's often for silly, ridiculous reasons. I mean, yesterday I saw something. So listen. For those of you who've never really done App Store review, App Store review is ridiculous. App Store review, they will block you for any sort of reasons. I mean, this is one thing that you don't realize with Apple is Apple. You may have heard the whole 30% thing. Now, I'm a small developer, so I will be able to get that down to 15%. If you go and you sign up, then as long as your revenue is not over $1 million, which, I mean, if it gets over $1 million, then that's a good problem to have. But as long as it's under $1 million, you can just, Apple will take 15%. Now, bear in mind that is 15% after any like sales taxes or VAT or anything like that. So if I was selling at $19.99 and whatever the equivalent is, let's say that is the £20 in the UK. Well, first of all, 20% of that gets taken off for VAT. So that would be what? Because you got to do it inverse. If we just do the, it's the wrong maths, but let's say that takes us down to £16. Okay, so from £20 a year to £16 a year, but then Apple will take their 15 to 30% from that, and then you get the rest. Okay, what do you get for that 15-30% of your entire revenue after any sales tax and stuff? Well, you get to deal with app review, and this is where the whole subscription thing will actually start being very useful. Because if I want to release a new version of Coppice, what do? Well, I build it, I notarize it, which it's Apple checking it, are there any viruses or anything, and then I put it up on the website and I tell people you can download it, and people can go and it will download immediately. What about the App Store? Well, I've got to build it, and then I've got to split it to app review, and then I've got to wait for someone at Apple to look through and make sure that I'm not breaking any of the App Store rules. And then they will put it up on the App Store and people can download it. Okay, what's the problem? Problem is app review is awful. Very awful. So with app review, they will just sit on your app for a while and do nothing. Especially if it's a busy time of year, like there's a new OS release or it's getting towards Christmas and they shut down for a week or something like that. So one app I use called Kaleidoscope, they have been stuck in app review for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So you as a user cannot get hold of the app. So where does the subscription thing come into it? Well, actually no, before I get to the subscription thing, let's try another thing. Let's get into the app review being even worse. So another app has been rejected multiple times, and they were struggling to find out, why am I being rejected? And Apple's saying, you are advertising pre-release features. And this is something that is, again, really, really ridiculous. Apple is releasing new operating systems. You cannot say that I have updated my app to make it compatible with the upcoming operating system. Why? Because you're not allowed to mention that a new operating system is coming. What? What do you mean? What do you mean I can't tell? You've literally had an entire presentation telling people that this new operating system is coming. You have it plastered all over your website. You have public betas that people can download and use. People know that this is coming. Why can I not say my app is compatible with the new operating system? Can't say that your app is using the new features of an operating system. And this is where it gets hilarious. So Apple is introducing a new feature called Continuity Camera, and this is, I believe it's the feature that allows you to use your iPhone as your webcam. Apple calls it Continuity Camera, most people call it, this is how we make up for the fact that the studio display has a terrible camera. So what is the problem here? Well, there is a developer that I was talking about, not Kaleidoscope, another developer, and they have mentioned Continuity Camera, that they work with Continuity Camera, and you may think, well, surely that means that it's a cut and dry case, it's a ridiculous rule, but they're mentioning it. Apple already ships Continuity Camera. I believe it was it macOS, may even have been the macOS 10 version, where they shipped a feature called Continuity Camera, and now they're shipping another feature called Continuity Camera, and this developer's app works with the old Continuity Camera, but you're not allowed to say that you work with Continuity Camera, because Continuity Camera is a new feature, even though it is an existing feature. What? What sort of bollocks is that? So yes, this is why we get on to why the subscription can be useful. Because if I'm bringing copies to the Mac App Store and I want to release a new version, I can release a new version. And if someone is on the Mac App Store and for some reason the app gets stuck in review, I don't have to wait. I can release the new version, and someone who has paid can just download from the website, log in, and it will just all work. Or if they for some reason have downloaded from the website, bought from the website, and want to now switch over to getting it from the Mac App Store, they can do that. They just log in and it works. They're buying Coppice Pro. They're not buying an App Store version. They're not buying an iPad version. Now, the thing is, they won't be able to manage their subscription on the web like they can if they buy externally. If they buy it through the App Store, they have to manage it through the App Store. And that is where we get into even more stuff, because guess what I can do at the moment? Guess what I can do that is absolutely wonderful and fantastic and is great for customers. And it's you're going to find this ridiculous, but I can do this thing that Apple thinks is really bad. I as a business, I can give you a refund. Yes. If you do not like the app, you have paid for the app and do not like it, I have the power to give you a refund. If I'm in the Mac App Store I do not have that ability. You have to get in touch with Apple. Now, Apple will say, yes, but we are the ones that are selling it. And legally, they are. They are a reseller. This is why one of the benefits that you get, and this is a genuinely good benefit, Apple handles all the taxes for you. All the sales taxes and stuff, working out, do I need to charge in this country for this individual? And all the different rates and paying them to the different, that is very complicated stuff. Apple handles that for you. So Apple is the seller. So Apple is the one that needs to refund you. Just as if you bought a computer, like if you bought a Mac, but you didn't buy it directly from Apple, and you want to go get a refund, you go to the retailer and get a refund. You want to know the problem with that argument? The company that I use to sell Coppice at the moment, Paddle, who are pretty fantastic, they also handle all the taxes. They are legally in the same position as the App Store. They are a reseller. Do you know what? They let me offer a refund. Now, some of this is because Apple is a bit extreme with privacy. For example, I do not know if someone buys the app. I get absolutely no information of, oh, if someone contacts me for support, have they bought the app? There's no way of doing that. I do not get the user's name who bought it. I do not get their email address. I do not get anything. Now, Paddle does give me that information, which means that I can link things up and handle stuff there. But the problem is, the App Store doesn't give you that, so you cannot determine, does this person have a refund? Like, are they entitled to a refund anyway? There's no way of doing that. So, yeah, when someone buys from the App Store and they don't like it and they want a refund, all you can do is tell them, well, you've got to get in touch with Apple. I want to give you the refund. They would be fine to give you a refund. If I had the power, I would, but I can't. So, yeah, the App Store is a mess. But unfortunately, it's the only way to sell stuff on the iPad. And the main reason I'm bringing it, like Coppice, to the Mac App Store is that, well, if I'm in the App Store anyway for the iPad stuff, I may as well be in it for the Mac. And the Mac App Store does have a slight benefit in that it isn't quite as populated with NAF stuff, so Apple does, it's far more likely a chance of Apple featuring a small developer. But yeah. So when you worry and wonder, why does this app cost this much? Why do these app developers do stuff like subscriptions? Why is stuff such a pain? It's generally the App Store. It could be fantastic. It could be an absolutely wonderful, fantastic thing. Unfortunately, it's not. It's great for some people, but it is not the best thing in the world, and it's not great for an indie developer. And it gets, I mean, the absolute worst thing is the fact that if you are building for iPhone, you're building for iPad, if you build the app, Apple will not tell you, okay, this app is okay in the App Store. You have to build the app, you have to submit the app, and then Apple will tell you, okay, we're never allowing this in the App Store. Now on the Mac, you have the recourse of, okay, well, I will sell it outside the App Store. But you don't have that on the iPad, and there's no way to just say, here's the idea, here are some designs and stuff, is this concept allowed? They won't tell you. So yeah, that is why I've gone down the route of subscriptions, because I don't want to charge people for the Mac version and the iPad version separately, and I want just people to just say, you can buy from me, you can buy from Apple. And if you buy from me, technically I get a higher share, because Paddle's rates are not as high as Apple's. Now, it's not as bad as it could be. It's not, because I probably won't be paying Apple 30%, but I still make more money from a direct sale through Paddle than I would from the App Store. So, And it's the thing of the benefits is that Apple's, oh, but we have the benefit of people can find you. No, they can't. Nobody finds stuff on the App Store. They find stuff outside the App Store and then go to the App Store to get it. Oh, but we host and do all the download stuff. Yes. Hosting an app is not expensive. In fact, it's one of the cheapest things you do because it's literally basic, simple storage and transfer. I upload to an FTP server and I vend a link that people can download. And then for the updating, well, there's been a framework called Sparkle on the Mac for longer than, I think, 2005 or 6, I think it first appeared. Like, it is, in technology terms, ancient. So, it is just one of those things where it is simple. I mean, for Sparkle, I mean, you say that you've never used the App Store on your Mac. You will have used Sparkle because, let's say, is there anything that may need an update? Check for updates. Oh, I know what would show. Option. So, you've probably seen a dialogue like this, where you go for check for updates, and it checks for updates, it says software update, you get the icon there, a new version is available, would you like to download it, and then you get a thing that shows the things, it's like skip this version, install update. If you've used third-party software, you've probably used this. This is Sparkle. Now this is used, let's see, what apps do I have? I believe it's used in Mailplane. I'm not sure if Affinity Designer uses it. Let's see. Billingswood, Scrivener does. Tower does. SimDaltonism does. Nova uses a variant of it. I think they've customized it. Various does. Transmit, I believe, does. AMP, I believe, does. Sleepaid probably does. OBS does. And Coppice does. And this is, it's so easy to do because all it is it's effectively an RSS feed. So the same thing that is used to power all your, like any RSS reader you use, it's same effectively used for podcasts and all stuff like that. It's, I mean, they call it Appcast because it's the app equivalent to a podcast, and it's an RSS feed that just says, here's the version when it was released, here's the link to download it. You put that on your website, you add Sparkle and add just a few bits and pieces to your app, and it handles it all for you. And it is simple, easy enough to do. But yeah, it's just so cheap. It's like Apple could offer fantastic benefits, but they don't. It's sort of, it's not worth the value. It's getting to be worth like 15%. Okay, you could say it's just about worth it. 30% it isn't. And Apple then points to, for example, the console makers. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. You know what? They take 30%. Steam takes 30%. But Steam offers a far better experience. Steam lets you do refunds. Steam gives you far more in the way of like analytics and stuff like that. Steam gives you stuff like wish lists and all stuff like that. They will push apps more. They have the Steam sales and everything. The console makers, like if Apple wants to say, oh, but they're just like the console makers. Well, be like the console makers. You know what the console makers do? They, for their 30%, they fully validate everything. The console makers are a bit of a pain to work with because they go even beyond what Apple does in terms of making sure that you are doing things correctly. But in exchange for that, you know what you get? Marketing support. You get all sorts of additional support in terms of like technical know-how, stuff like that. You just get so much more help and so much more for your money that it's a case of, okay, this is worth it because this is a bit more of an exclusive club, which has its downsides because it's a bit harder to get on them, but it means you don't have as much rubbish getting on. You don't get the fact that if you release an app, there will be loads of clones of it, most of which are scams that do the subscriptions that really annoy people, where it's like, oh, this only costs you $5. Subscription that's $5. Oh, that's fine, but it's $5 a week. Well, that's ridiculously expensive. And yeah, it's just Apple either needs to reduce the price, like their cut, even more, or they need to actually start earning it. And this is why you see people talking about, okay, let's make side loading possible, because then you could get alternate app stores, and then Apple has to compete. Apple has to compete on merit. It's like, oh, I can't release my game on Steam. Well, guess what? There's good old games. There's the Epic Game Store. There's the Microsoft Store. Or I could just release it by myself, or I could put it on itch.io, or anything like that. On the Mac, if I can't get in the Mac App Store, I've got to go elsewhere. And this is why some apps aren't in the Mac App Store, why Apple has to do more on the Mac, and why the Mac App Store hasn't taken off, because there is competition. Because there's competition from direct sales, and direct sales are generally better, because I, as a developer, can offer a better experience to people buying my app than Apple can. So, yeah. But yeah, just writing a little bit of text there led to all that ranting. But that is basically, essentially, why Apple... Yeah. Why they just should do better, really. That's the long and short of it. They must do better, though. Oh, I'm not going to actually type this out because I need to work out. But this is basically going to be like a full list of features. So we're going to have section, and the section will be stuff like pages, page types, linking, canvases, so on. Then you're going to have sure. The subscription people are mad at Clip Studio at the moment because they recently announced they're going subscription based. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the big troubles that developers have. Changing to a subscription model is annoying. Like don't think that any developer goes in blind. They know that changing to a subscription model will bring a lot of flack. I mean, let's have a look. So Clip Studio, one-time purchase, $50, $219, a monthly plan. So one device. That's quite a discount for annual. Because normally what people would do is monthly, and annual is basically 10 times monthly, so you're effectively getting 2 months free. So for example, like I'm thinking of doing monthly for Coppice when I do all the changes, and the monthly will probably be $2 a month, because then you can either do $2 a month, which is $24 a year, or you can pay for a full year, which is $20, so you're saving 2 months. But yeah, I mean the annual, I mean I can sort of understand why they're doing this, but I mean with Coppice, I think I allow up to 3 max on the subscription, so you're paying $20 a year and you can get it on 3 max, and I think unlimited iPads I think is what I'm going for. But yeah, it's one of those things of, for a one device annual, so that is $25, which would be $50. So you're really talking 2 years for this, and you get that all the time. Now the key thing is, how often do they do paid upgrades? Like, it looks like they may just do this, because this is one key thing, and some of it is a bit, it sounds icky, but it is a fundamental of, are you just doing this for fun, or are you trying to run a business? It is far easier to get money out of people who have already given you money. If someone is already paying you, it is easier to get them to pay you more. And this is why you get things like paid upgrades. The reason you have paid upgrades is that it is far easier to get everyone who has already paid for your software to pay for like the version 2 or the version 3 or whatever, than it is to get someone to buy a new version. Now, someone may not pay for that upgrade. They may stick on an old version. I've done that before. But there is a far higher likelihood, because if they've already paid once, the odds are they're invested in your product and they want to pay again to get the new features, because they want whatever new features you've done. So if you do a one-time purchase, anyone who sells you software and they say this is a one-time purchase and you get this for life, do not believe it. Because what they will find out is that it is harder and more difficult, more expensive to get new people coming in, and they are relying on that. They are relying on the hardest people to get money from, the most expensive people to get money from, and a pool that is ever dwindling. Because yes, there are many, many people out there, but the amount of people that you can reach is only so big. The amount of people who are going to use it is only so big. And this is the reason why it's so expensive, because you've got to spend more and more and more to expand your horizons. Whereas the people who've already paid you money is a growing pool who are easier to get in touch with and are more inclined to give you money. So this is why paid upgrades exist. Now the reason subscriptions exist is for a similar reason, because you can keep giving money. But, and this is where the issue comes in. This is on iPhone, Android, iPad, Android. The one-time purchase is not. Why? Because here they can turn around and say, okay, there's a new version, therefore you have to pay full price again. Or rather, not full price, but you've got to pay for an upgrade. You can't do that on iPhone or iPad. Or rather, you can, but you've got to ship an entirely new app, and then you've got to have things where it transfers all the data from the old app to the new app. It's not download something new and you just use it. So it is a pain. The whole system of you buy an app and you have that app. Now, technically speaking, you never buy an app. You buy a license for an app. So you've never bought that app. You just have bought a license to use it. But you buy an app, you pay a one-time purchase, and you can use that for as long as the app will continue to run. That, unfortunately, is dying because of app stores. It's not dying because subscriptions do have benefits to developers. It has the benefit of you don't have to hold features back to create these big releases that you can charge for. You don't have as massive a rush. You're basically reducing your initial gain but spreading it out more evenly. Part of the big reason why Adobe went for subscriptions is financial, and it's not in terms of a earning money financial, it's in terms of a more consistent revenue financial, because Adobe will make a load of money when they released a new version of their apps. So when it was Creative Suite 1 came out, they'd make a lot of money, and then they'd make very little revenue. They would probably be operating at a loss a lot of the time before Creative Suite 2 came out, just about break even. And a lot of software developers, when you run on this model, work the same way. You make a ridiculous profit when it first comes out, and then you're operating at a loss. And then eventually you get this huge peak again. Subscriptions level all that off massively, so it's a more consistent income. So that could be part of it. If Clip Studio are not regularly charging paid upgrades anyway, then they may not be able to make the money. So it's one of those things where it is hard to do. It is hard to get right. You're never going to satisfy anyone, and it's ultimately about finding the best balance of things. And if it was a case of the ideal one, this is an ideal thing, which is what actually if you buy Nova from Panic. Nova is not in the App Store. I don't believe it can be in the App Store because of some of the stuff it's doing. It's like incompatible with it. But their thing, and this is something that would be nice to do, and a few other apps do this if they are not intended to go into the App Store, is you pay for a year of updates. So when you buy for $99 plus tax, includes 1 full year of updates and new features. So what that basically means is, like a subscription, you can pay, like this is $100 a year, effectively, to have Nova. But if you decide not to, well, you simply just do not get any updates to it. You are getting updates as long as you're paying the subscription, but when you stop paying the subscription, you cannot get updates anymore. If Apple allowed that model in the App Store, I would go for that everywhere. But they don't, so I can't. So, if I had no intention of ever putting Coppice in any form in the App Store, I would probably have gone for this model. But my intention is to get it in the Mac App Store, my intention is to get it on the iPad. And because of that, I have to go for this subscription model. I could go for the thing where you just buy features. Some applications do that, where they introduce new features and then you pay for access to individual features. Which does work for some, but then again, it's like paid upgrades sort of thing. Subscriptions are just generally simpler to deal with. So it's like, this would be the ideal model for everyone. Where it's like, okay, you pay like as a subscription. If you want to pay it as a subscription, that's fine. If you don't care about any new features, you can just pay once. You get a year of updates. After that year, you get nothing more until something else comes along that prompts you, okay, I actually want these new features. So I'll do that, and you get the next bunch of updates and so on. So yeah, it is just one of those things where it would be nice. The models that developers want to use that give the best compromise, they can't use because of Apple and Google and everyone. It's like subscriptions have their benefits, they have their downsides. And yeah, the model of you pay for a year of updates is, and then it's you keep whatever the last version was at the end of that year, you have that forever. That is the ideal one, but it's difficult to do. Or rather, it's not difficult. It's difficult to do on the App Store, and that's the problem. Hey Kieran, Substance Painter had a similar model. Yeah, quite a few apps. I mean, an app I use for database stuff called Querius has that model as well. I believe VMware Fusion uses a similar model. And like I said, it's one of those things that if you're not in the App Store, it's a model you can go for. But my intention has always been for Coppice to come to the iPad and be on the App Store. So I've just gone for this model. Maybe at some point in future I can work out a way to make this work within the App Store. But it's just, it's a pain. Alright, let's have a look at that. Right, so this is potentially problematic because of the, I mean, now the tumult. Yeah, the tumult one is a lot narrower. Yeah, I have been ranting about business models and stuff and how the App Store messes many things up and why I've gone for the subscription model for Coppice. Right, so what I am inclined to do here is not make this full width. What I take that 30 points, and then section feature, bring it by yeah, I think what I need is I'm going to have to actually come up with the actual content before I can decide how I want this to look. Yeah, so we get that, Coppice Pro, compare, and then there is going to be one last section at the bottom. That one I want to do. copy that. Paste that. Which will probably be an amalgamation of Coppice and the MQ software footer. I am just going to be right back. 2 seconds, because I just need a quick bathroom break, but then we'll spend another half hour just seeing if we can get the last few bits done, and then I need to work out what I'm doing, because I don't want this just white, I want some more colour in there. So I will be back just in a minute or so. Okay, back. Where did all these come from? Guess we'll never know. Right, so we have compared. So I want another group down here, and this group is it's sort of the footer, but it's not. Probably details, and it is just going to be that I saw that was a good example of. Yeah, so something like this, where you get the details, where you get all bits and pieces like that. What else do we have? Does Kaleidoscope have one? Oh yeah, it has a bit of one. Acorn doesn't. Other app that. Oh, it was. Oh. So if we go down here, yeah, there's more stuff down here. So we probably want something like that. Hey Silverback Swift. Unfortunately, no, I'm not heading to Aberystwyth this year. It's actually the first year that I won't be going. Well, except for like when stuff's been cancelled, but no, unfortunately, I'm not going this year. So maybe next year. Hopefully, I'll be able to get back. But anyway, how are you? Are you heading to Aberystwyth yourself? Oh, Alright, so what do we want to stick down here? Yeah, it would be nice to head there and catch up with people, but it's just one of those things of this year. It's just not really worked out. I could have gone, but it's just the problem is I usually would take a week off and do the conference, but then I'm sort of, the conference is fun but tiring, and it's just one of those things of it just hasn't really worked out for me. So it's just next year, hopefully I'll be in a bit of a better position to head down there, because it's always fun getting down there, and I've missed not being able to head down. Though the last time I was there, yeah, I think it was. Last time I went, was when I badly sprained my ankle. Arguing politics with someone while walking to breakfast, and ended up missing the sort of the inner curb between the pavement and some grass. There was about an inch and a half drop there, and my foot sort of went on it, went over, and yeah, thankfully it didn't break. But that was fun because I was meant to be presenting that morning, giving the lightning talk, and so I ended up walking in and finding out, well, walking in and just saying, oh, I've injured myself, and then getting driven to the hospital to get it all scanned and stuff, and all the gravel and stuff taken out of my hand that I'd fallen on to brace myself. So yeah, that was fun, because I then had to drive back from Aberystwyth with that sprained ankle. Now, thankfully, the action that you need to press the pedals was perfectly fine. And when I got to the motorway, I could use cruise control, so I didn't need to use my that foot at all. But yeah, I was in a splint for a while, and it was pretty bad that I ended up having to go to the doctor's about 2 months later, because it was still hadn't been properly healing, and get to see a physio to heal it, and it's still not been 100% ever since. It's never fully healed. Like, I've got strength back on it. I can walk just fine on it. It's just it gets a bit painful from time to time. So yeah, that's fun. And it's odd because my ankles are generally super flexible. I go over on my ankles all the time, but I never sprained it until then. Thankfully, didn't break it. That was the key thing. It was only sprained, but right. So What sort of stuff do we want down here? We want another... We want download link. System requirements. Version... Oh. So I think what we need is... Oh. Oh dear. Ah! Help! Well, I guess those are just living there now. See, this is what I don't get. Because I'm pretty sure the redeem is using the same API as the follow stuff, and yet the follow notifications did not work. Oh well. Right, so what do I want down there? Download information, probably buy, like purchase stuff, and then support stuff. Have download. Buy Pro. Support. Right, so could make this in regular. What information do we want here? Probably want to have the download link, version, size, notes, OS, requirements. Filing, what do I have on the Coppice side? Upgrade Pro. Upgrade net. Link. Nice. Oh. App Store link. Because if Apple is not going to if Apple's not going to let me advertise my sales on in the app on the App Store, then I'm not going to do too much to advertise it on the App Store. Like, I'm getting it from the App Store there. So, and then for support, we want manual contact us. But, ah. Well, so this is what it currently says on my filtered feed. It's quiet, too quiet. Ah. Mm. There I am. Well, this is a mess. Though, the good news is, it all seems to be running pretty well, despite having all of this, so I consider that a success. We've had a good stress test. Yes, this was a success, a complete and total success. Nothing went wrong at any point during all of this. This was entirely planned and how I expected it to be. Well, as we can't see the screen anymore, and as it's probably around the end time of the stream, I think what we're going to do is call the stream there. So let's have a look and see who else is streaming. Finite is streaming. So let's go over and say hello to Finite. Yeah, we've had quite a good stream. We've managed to get started on the link highlighting. It has been a bit of a... it's going to be a bit tricky getting stuff in, so I think we'll start that Saturday properly. We have done a lot of work on the Coppice webpage. So we managed to get all this stuff at the top done, get our colour scheme and font sizes done, and start laying out all of the stuff down here. So yeah, I think this is starting to look pretty good. There's gonna be a lot more design stuff here. We've got the text done, but I want to do stuff in terms of colours and stuff like that. I don't want to just leave it all white. But yeah, so that's been pretty good. And yeah, I will see you all on Wednesday, where we'll probably be doing some work on the stream, if not doing some more on the website. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week, and as always, happy cleaning up bugs. Yes, I guess I'm doing that now. Okay, bye.